Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of today, Sunday, the 17th of October, through Saturday to come, the 23rd, the first day of Scorpio season. We're going to begin with the dice and weekend away. Eat cake. Maybe happy birthday, recognizing the birthday of the last deacon Libras. Happy birthday to the Libras and to the Scorpios. And no. Spirit says email. Spend money. And sex. With the cards, we are starting again with leaving or travel. I'm pretty sure that this was the card I began with earlier in the general reading. Behind that is food and hunger. That could be what we're leaving behind. I wanted to pull out the past life cards because I wanted to see if they would point out for us what from our past could be significant now. Maybe we're going to let go of now with the full moon that occurs this week, the full moon in Aries. Maybe that'll help us to leave behind some of these things, some like addictions and other karmic experiences and lessons that we've completed. We can let go of them now. Food and hunger could be one. Somebody could have had, like a me, I need. It's like it can be like a gluttony or like a fear that you always have to try to keep things and try to have things because maybe growing up you didn't have it. Look, phobias. That's what I was trying to think of, the word I was trying to think of. I know my dad used to, he had 6 brothers and sisters. And even here, like, in our family, oh, look, father, as I'm talking about my dad, he sometimes would, like, hide stuff, like stuff that he liked. I'd find it, like, hidden in plain sight, or, like, hidden in the refrigerator, hidden in the cabinet. But, let's say I wanted to have peanut butter and jelly. And it was a jelly that he liked. It was blueberry jelly or, something. The jelly be all the way in the back of the refrigerator, like hoping that nobody else takes it and uses it. It was like something from his childhood because there was like so many of them. You like had to make sure that you got your share or whatever. So people could be dealing with things like that. We got authority figures, maybe not letting go of a situation involving authority figures, but maybe one comes to an end. And actually, the Emperor, which represents the sign of Aries, where the full moon is going to be, in the tarot, is also representative of authority figures and like government agencies, corporations, legal situations and stuff for me. Sometimes, so it could be like the end of something like that. Maybe if you had an issue going on where you were dealing with or against one of these larger corporations or entities, that could finally be coming to an end. And now our overall energy with these cards is love life, which I'm happy about because it's the love reading. With the Rider-Waite cards, we're starting with the High Priestess in reverse. High Priestess, a Gemini, most directly, or perhaps a water sign. She's in reverse. When the High Priestess is in reverse, it tends to mean that she is... let's say you're psychic, right? And you have whatever gifts you have. And you just feel like you can't access them. Or like the messages are not coming through clearly. You're not really understanding what it is, the universe or your guides or whatever, or your ancestors are trying to show you or tell you. That could be happening. Or for me, sometimes the way I read the High Priestess in reverse, it can be more physical in terms of... like a body like dysmorphia, like you look in the mirror and you're too skinny or you're too fat or you're unattractive to yourself, just to yourself. But that's not really the case. Other people find you attractive. Other people think you're just right, and you're like looking in the mirror and you're worried. So so it can be a physical thing, or it can be a spiritual thing where you're like, am I even psychic? I'm not understanding these messages. I'm not seeing anything. I'm having trouble, grasping what I think the universe is trying to show me. God is trying to show me, whatever is in what you believe. And as I mentioned, High Priestess, most directly a Gemini, even has the Gemini symbol on the card. It's Major Arcana card 2, Roman numeral 2, which is the symbol that represents the sign of Gemini. And sure enough, we also have the Queen of Swords in reverse. So this High Priestess may actually be a Gemini, or other air sign, Libra, Aquarius, or somebody Queen of Swords like, and or, since this is talking about love, Queen of Swords and love can often be, it's two things potentially. It's going to even be like your energy, and maybe you're pushing too hard. Like sometimes we love so hard and we just do too much. It's too forceful. And this kind of energy came up not in the form of the Queen of Swords, but in the form of the Eight of Wands, and the Ten of Cups in reverse earlier in the general reading. Like just being too forceful, trying to get people to be at your speed, maybe in terms of a relationship. Why hasn't he tried to, propose yet? Why hasn't she invited me over to her house? Is there another dude there? That kind of stuff. And maybe there's something else and you don't know why that person is not at the same speed as you, and it's not a good idea to try to push them. So Queen of Swords can be somebody that sometimes loves so hard and pushes so hard that she pushes her love interests away. This is too much. I can't deal with it. You're doing way too much. So it could be that, and maybe you're not an air sign at all. Or another potential is sometimes this is like a mother-in-law or mother who is maybe the one who's causing some sort of trouble. She's forced her way into the relationship. Now seeing the devil immediately after these upright, there could be somebody who is maybe doing or trying to do like a dark black magic against this person. Maybe as it relates to love. And it could be like a mother-in-law again, or mother getting in the way, trying to keep maybe a spiritual connection, like a soulmate, a twin flame, away from her son, her daughter. This would be her. Anyway, Major Arcana card 15, the Devil, represents the sign of Capricorn most directly. Otherwise, it is a card that's about fear, about feeling stuck, feeling trapped. But we always have the ability, we have free will. And although some things are karmic, meaning they're going to happen regardless, and we can't control them, we can't stop them from happening, we can't cause them to happen, it's like of the universe, of God, we are always in control of our response and our reaction to things, people, places, and things. So, yeah. How you're affected is up to you. Something can try to trap you, but whether you agree that you're trapped and you remain sitting there stuck is up to you. It's funny because I actually posted like a meme about mother-in-laws on my community tab. It was something like, if your relationship gets messed up, don't blame him, and don't blame him only, because it takes two to tango. Him and his mother, it's not your fault. what it said. So it's funny that I just posted that the other day, and now we have this mother coming up again. Could be somebody who loves a mama's boy, like that show. And overall energy is still in reverse, still Mercurian, still Gemini. Major Arcana card 1, the Magician. So again, similar to feeling like you're not up to snuff as it relates to your spiritual gifts. This is kind of the same thing. It's another spiritual card, and saying like, it's like not believing in yourself that you have the ability to manifest, when you do. And it may have something to do with manifesting something or someone from your past. 6 of Cups, a soulmate card. So this could totally be what I was saying. 6 of Cups, also known to have something to do with children or connected to children in the tarot traditionally. For me, it also relates to siblings. Well, Gemini is an energy that is representative of siblings too. Like Gemini, like the energy of Gemini and Mercury rules siblings and stuff. Then we have the Three of Cups. So this is positive. Six of Cups, Three of Cups. Maybe you are reunited with somebody who once betrayed you. And so now what? Now you got to figure out, decide how you feel about that, if you're interested or not. Could lead to conflict or, debate. And then again, here is signs, indication that there's a decision that has to happen. For whomever to whom that applies. And with the angel and animal tarots, we're starting with the Six of Pentacles. Is one of my favorite cards. Represents the planet Venus, the goddess of love, the planet of love, currently located in Sagittarius. So for Geminis, that's all about our love life. That is our seventh house of relationships, our closest one-on-one relationships. Venus also rules Gemini. She's the esoteric ruler of the sign of Gemini, but she's directly also the ruler of the signs of Libra and Taurus. Gifts of money, time, or effort. New career opportunities, receiving a loan or paying off debts. And when it comes to love and relationship, for me with this card, it is about balance, equity, reciprocity, the ability to give and receive, and the need for love to be able to pass both ways in order to be healthy. So you have to be able to be capable of both giving it and receiving it. Immediately behind that, we have Major Arcana card 16, the Tower, which can be about a revelation, or it can be about, major change in your life, something that's real, that it really affects you because it's a huge change. And then we have another Seven of Cups. So again, the indication of a need to make a decision again. It's a complex decision. The need to do research. Stop procrastinating. But whatever you do, don't give up. Don't feel like you're out of options or out of choices or even out of steam. The universe here to support you through whatever it is through which you are going. I'm going to just shove these in randomly and then mix these up a bit more. I want to see what we're going to have coming up from the Rider-Waite deck for each of the elements, and then I want to see from the perspective of the masculine what is happening and what may be, attached to, again, our past. We got the Nine of Swords. So there's anxiety, there's worries. People may not be trusting of their partner. There could be concern of cheating or, again, betrayal. We saw that Ten of Swords a minute ago too. Lies and things like that. Or, maybe that's from the past. And again, the person has returned. You've reunited. So that's happy. But can I trust this person because before they betrayed me? You know what I mean? Your worries and fears aren't real, though. They're fueled by focusing on the negative, which gives power to that of which you're afraid. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. So if you're paranoid about this kind of stuff, you're worried about it, and you typically are able to tune in with things, you're a high priestess, and all of a sudden it's not working, you're going to freak out. I mean, it makes sense. Like, I can't see whether or not this person is legit or on the up and up or not. You're going to have to go, trust that, again, you're potentially manifesting negativity by continuing to think like that and focus on negative. Behind it is indication of potential illusion. Major Arcana card 12, Awakening, or the Hanged Man, which is also about letting go of things or people that, that don't work anymore in your situation. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. And it's interesting because this card represents the sign of Pisces most directly. And a couple of times earlier in the general reading, I kept saying like this Piscean energy, Piscean energy, Piscean energy. So could definitely be something going on there, particularly involving either an actual Pisces or, illusion. And that may be tied perhaps to the full moon that's coming up. Right? Moons are about illusion, what's done in the dark and all that. And then we wait for the sun to bring things to lights. So I'm going to start with the Rider-Waite. As I said, let's get the stands, put them up here, and see what we have for each element this week. First, beginning with fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Your card is the Page of Pentacles upright, possibly involving directly a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. So also, is it Capricorn? Oh no, I was going to say your ruling planet, if you're a Sagittarius, had been back and forth between Aquarius and Capricorn, and goes direct tomorrow. It's been retrograde for 4 months, but it's actually going direct, not in Capricorn, but in Aquarius. Anyway, the earth signs themselves, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, your card is the Two of Cups in reverse. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, our card is the Ace of Cups in reverse. And last but not least, the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, your card is the Seven of Wands. Interesting. Interesante. Okay. So starting with our overall energy of the Magician, again, similar to the High Priestess, this card can mean that you're losing faith, like in your ability to basically find or attract or even keep love or new love. If you're single, you could be worried, like, am I ever going to meet somebody? Is it ever going to, be my turn to be happy? Maybe you've been attending other people's events, weddings and births and children and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, when is it going to be me? Am I ever going to find it? And you're just like getting down and out about it. And that could be what this is representative of, right? This worry. But that would also be an illusion. A false illusion that there's not somebody out there for you. As they say, there's a top for every pot. And what you need to attract them, though, is to be more positive. So basically, that attitude, if that's what you're walking around with, it just has to stop, like, now, in order to be successful. If you're already in a relationship, a committed relationship, then this card in reverse can show some sort of hesitancy to talk about what it is you really want and need, out of your relationship. We had the sex die. I feel like it may be attached to sex, like your mate, your love interest or lover, is not having sex the way you want, whether that's the how often it is, or the type, the positions, the number of people involved, which holes are involved. I don't know what it is, but or maybe even just the mechanics of it all. Sometimes people can think that it's more romantic to do everything gently and soft, and then sometimes people want something a little stronger, and so maybe you're afraid to say because you don't want to hurt the partner's feelings. Not that you are disinterested in them, but you could be getting bored or disinterested in the lovemaking if it's not up to your standard, or they're not doing something right. So it's time to be brave. Basically, you're the Magician. It's time to be brave and to communicate these things. And if it has it might have nothing to do with sex. For somebody too. I just felt that just popped up for me right away, that it's for someone, at least someone that will watch. It is about sex. But it can be about anything in your life. You have goals, you have dreams that you want to reach, and you feel like you're not moving in that direction. It's something you need to talk to your partner about. You cannot be afraid to talk to them. You cannot be afraid about hurting their feelings or things like that. And then for others still, there could be something, again, attached to past betrayal. So maybe you're interested in a moving the relationship along, but you're afraid because in the past there's been hurt, and it's like, what I really need is to feel secure. What I really need is to feel confident that I can trust you, and all that kind of thing. So they'll have to do something to show you that you can, if you're brave enough to even bring it up. So moving on to the fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, again, their card is the Page of Pentacles, which may be representative of an actual person in their life that is perhaps directly a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And this card, when it appears, again, can mean like your relationships, your love life, has lost some of its, luster. It's a little lame. It's a little boring. That doesn't mean that if you're in a committed relationship, it needs to come to an end, but it does mean, again, that the discussion is necessary. If you want to change something, if you want to be able to move forward. If you're single and doesn't feel like you're capable of meeting everyone, because again, we need these cards to relate to our overall energy. It just seems like, I can't meet anybody new. I'm not meeting anybody new. You got to look carefully at what it is you may be walking around with in terms of baggage, like in your heart. Maybe you're holding on to something because of a past betrayal. I just keep picturing that 10 of swords and that guy laying flat on his face with the 10 daggers in his back. So that could be what you're holding on to. You may still be attached to an ex or something like that, and you may need to, let go of those things. Again, Hangman can be about letting go. That may be from where your fears and your nerves and your anxiety, your agita is coming from. You got to let go of that. And, if you ever expect to be able to move forward, then you'll be able to move forward. Moving on to the earth signs themselves. Again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Two of Cups is a beautiful card for this, but it's in reverse. So this will mean, like, in general, you need to make sure that you aren't paying too much attention to love and your love life. I guess potentially even your sex life or something, to the exclusion of everything else in your life that is going on. Like maybe your bank account, maybe you're being robbed blind, or somebody's siphoning your money out or something while your head is in the clouds, and you're just worried about love. Maybe, if you have children, they're in some sort of need, and, they're sort of being, what's the word? Not abandoned. That's too much. That's too strong. But, ignored, not like to necessarily to the point that you're a horrible parent and you're abusive or anything like that, but they could use a little bit more attention. But maybe again, your head is in the cloud. You're too worried about, your man or your woman or meeting somebody or something, that you're not giving the right attention to other areas of your life. So therefore, they already going to be impacted or feel one way or another, perhaps the outside people that are affected by this. But for your own life, you are out of balance. Your life is in balance if you are not taking care of, nurturing each area. So when you get this card, or if you get this card and there are, like problems in a relationship, then it may be time to address and then like forgive and forget if possible, like the past problems, again, betrayal and things like that, and to try to start completely fresh. If you're single, then again, there's a need to, yes, look for love. Yes, you have the right to want to be in love, but you can't spend all day sitting around worried about love when you got other things in your life that you need to tend to, especially because the way that this works and the energy works, you tending to some of those other things could be what helps your love life. It's weird, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Okay, so there's that. Moving on to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have the Ace of Cups, and people look at that and say, whoa, that's a fabulous card. Yeah, it might be. It could be. Not necessarily, but it could be. I mean, it's never a bad card. It could be about love that's coming our way, brand new love and or reconciliation with a partner that is slightly delayed, perhaps because of Mercury retrograde. So again, our ruling planet for us Geminis among this air sign placement goes direct on the 18th. A lot of stuff happens on the 18th. So Mercury goes direct. Jupiter goes direct. Again, Jupiter rules our mirror opposite, the sign of Sagittarius, our 7th house of love and relationship. So that could be another reason why we're upside down, perhaps. They got to go direct. But in addition to those two astrological transits, there are other things. So that in the theological world, on the Christian calendar, we have the feast day of St. Luke, the evangelist or the apostle, also occurring on the 18th. In the Muslim or Islamic calendar, we have the celebration of the birth of the prophet, also occurring on the 18th into and through sundown on the 19th. What else is that day? I feel like there's something else I'm not thinking about right now. Check out the general reading. That's all I can say. I don't recall, but there may have been something else. But isn't that enough already? That I just named like 4 things that were happening on the 18th. So those could be causes for delay, particularly again the retrogrades could be causes for the delay, but there's going to be a huge energy shift when all of these things between the planetary calendar, the spiritual calendars or theological calendars, you know, there's going to be a major shift when all those things occur. And so then we could perhaps get moving. Our energy would get moving, and we could meet somebody, or we could reunite with someone, or reconcile with someone. Or the other thing, the other meaning that I said, it's not a bad card, but or a bad omen, but sometimes it's not all that great. It's because it can mean that things aren't things or you, if I'm going to be more honest, aren't necessarily quite like where they need to be in order for your love life to really thrive. And again, that's very likely because here's our energy right here, and it's saying, I'm losing faith. I just feel like my thoughts are negative, right? I'm not manifesting love. So they go hand in hand. You have to look at yourself first, right, and figure out, like, have I dealt with everything necessary in order to live with like my guard down, or an open heart, or to be willing to lower it if the right person comes along, or am I still like blocking everybody? And we got to be honest with ourselves about that if you're interested in moving on and finding love. If you are already in a relationship, it's possible that it's not the one that's best for you. And I talked about that earlier too. Like, in terms of, it was in the physical health placement, I talked about like being in relationships like just for the sake of being in them, or because we split the bills, or we have kids together, or whatever it is. We make up, or we give ourselves all of these reasons, excuses, whatever we want to call them, what have you, as to why we can't let go of something that is not befitting of us, of the wrong person, or the wrong things, the wrong energy, and we hold on to it far longer than we should. This could be the case here. You could be maybe just for the sake of being in a relationship, just for the sake of having somebody, a companion, or by you, even though it's toxic, you're in that relationship. It would behoove you to let that one go, and it would be better to be single until you meet the right person, because the right person is out there for you, but it's going to need a space. It's going to need the space to be vacant. But it's up to you. Like, the card is really saying, think about what you really want and need in life, and if there's something that you need help with, get it. Get the help. And last but not least, again, we come to the water signs. And your card is the Seven of Wands. So not very romantic. This card says that if you're already in a committed relationship, again, do not hesitate to speak your mind to your mate about something that is bothering you, some way that you feel can improve the relationship, whatever. Particularly if you're interested in saving the relationship and things seem to not be going right because communication is off, that certainly could have been due to Mercury retrograde. Mercury is the planet that rules communication. So when it's in retrograde, sometimes communication goes left, and now you got something to talk about. Very, very possible. If you're gonna have to be, when this card shows up, like, considerate about the way that you speak your mind to your partner. Say what you mean what you say, but sometimes we can be unnecessarily hurtful. And when I say we, I mean people in general. I'm not a water sign. And maybe it's best to not be that if you can help it. If you can choose your words, as they say. If you're single, this card can indicate that you are about to meet someone new, brand new, and it's going to be away from the usual places and or ways that you would normally do it or be. All right, so go ahead and don't be afraid to try something new. I actually just thought I can do the masculine perspective in the moon reading over that period of the next 2 weeks. Maybe I'll do that. And here we'll see what from the past may be affecting our love lives. So for you fire signs, your card is, it's leaving or travel. So maybe being stuck, and or this could be about actual separation, having moved away from maybe a love interest or a mate, or having done that with you, they moved away. And this is what's something that's affecting you now. Somehow this leaving or travel from your past or past life is coming up now in your life. Earth signs joining your Two of Cups. We have angels. Well, the Two of Cups is again a soulmate card. It can definitely be representative of divine unions, or partnerships between earth angels, sort of guided and assisted by actual angels in the sky. And try to pay attention and listen. It's possible, again, that you are not as in tune as you normally are or would be, but try to pay attention and take advantage of the full moon energy to, write down things that you want to let go of, and, do a full moon ritual. Let the angels help you in that sense. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Our card is biblical. So similarly, this could be somebody that you met in past life. That the card, the way the author intends it, is that we were around during biblical times when this card shows up. Also, earlier, the way that I picked it up was that it meant that on the 18th, again, the day, the feast day for Saint Luke the Evangelist, that was the day that our energy was going to shift and free up. And sure enough, of course, again, as I already said, that is also the same day as Mercury retrograde. Mercury goes direct. So that could be the case for you too. It's affecting you now, but this is an indication of a time that your energy is going to free up. And water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have imprisonment or slavery. So there's definitely, again, a feeling of being stuck and maybe being in a relationship that you don't need to be in, as I was just talking about, that's not really meant for you. And just feeling like you don't have options, and that's incorrect. You do. You need to use this magician energy better, right? Flip it around. Believe that you have the ability to manifest and to change your life and to make changes and to react and respond to situations the way that you choose, without judgment, or if you get judgment, who cares? Freely, and, you're your own person, all that. You have to believe all of that. And then you have to, sort of harness that energy and use it to help you free yourself from whatever this is. But it seems like a bad relationship that you're stuck in. And I would think that there's a better relationship for you. Not only is there a better relationship for you, but, like a soulmate relationship. That you, either somebody from your past, an ex or whatever, that you could be reuniting with, or somebody new that you can meet that can be like a genuine soulmate, in a reciprocal relationship. This is a happy, positive thing. It's not, and we're leaving this in the past, like when we were hurt and when we were betrayed and, devastated, and allowing ourselves to be happy, if you so choose. Again, free will is involved in not only your love life, but your life in general. It's up to you. Hope you guys have enjoyed the love reading. Like I said, I will come back with the moon reading, and then we'll try to look into the mind of the masculine. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. Namaste.